Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with BusinessRiff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. If you're not in revenue, you're in sales. And today we have David Austin from Summit Sales Partners. We're going to be giving you some tips on sales. So thanks for coming, David.
Thanks for having me, Mary. As I'd mentioned, I've really been looking forward to this conversation. So thank you for thinking of me and inviting me to participate in this call, and I look forward to our chat.
Yes, indeed. So let's start with what's the first thing people need to know about sales?
Oh, that's a broad question, but I would say just really know your target market. Really investigate, think deeply about what the opportunities are within your target market. Think deeply about who your customers are and will be, how you can meet their needs and satisfy them. And without customers and without sales, you're probably going to have a pretty short runway for a startup company. So the more that you think about that target market and how to satisfy your customers, the better off you're going to be long term.
Is there a biggest mistake startups make when it comes to sales?
One of the biggest mistakes that I see is potentially limiting the voices you're listening to. Startups and founders have a desire to look at their first customers and their word as gospel. And I think you really need to listen to a lot of customers and understand a lot of approaches, a lot of viewpoints. And just keep your mind open for listening to that voice of customer. The folks that I work with probably get tired of me saying voice of customer, but it's really, really important to listen to your customers and to be prepared to innovate when they tell you things that seem to make sense. Now, with all that being said, I do think that you certainly need to trust your gut and your instincts. But if you're not listening to a variety of customers, I think you're making a mistake and probably selling yourself a little short.
And that's because a lot of times what you think is your best feature is not what your customers are coming to you for. And you need to know what exactly they like best about what it is you do.
No, that's a great point. I think, we have a tendency to limit that. And I think most founders will tell you that the product that you end up with going to market is not what you originally kind of conceived and thought would be the product that you were developing. So, once again, be prepared to innovate, be prepared to change and modify your thinking, and that's what customers will tell you when you're really having that conversation with them.
Right. And a lot of people, not just startups, are nervous about sales. They're uncomfortable doing sales. Can you suggest some ways to get around that?
I think one of my biggest suggestions is always honesty. Be honest with your clients and customers. The old adage, under promise and over deliver really rings true here. So I think if there's honesty in what you're doing from a product or service perspective, and you can look customers in the eye and tell them that the product or service that you're offering is going to do what you say it's going to do, and you're going to work really hard to make it so. I think that's always the basis and foundation for how to build a successful business. When you talk about honesty and from a salesperson's perspective, you're always working on your own brand. David Austin Inc. or a startup. Startup Inc. If you're dishonest with customers, they have a really long memory, and you will never probably be able to rebuild those bridges if you've been dishonest with customers and clients. So it's always the foundation.
Right. And it's always better to be the voice of your company rather than getting a spokesperson because you're the one who's got the passion. And like you said, if you're honest and you're passionate about how whatever is going to help your customers, People don't care about the secret sauce. They just want to know how it's going to help them, right?
Absolutely. And if you're honest, you get the benefit of the doubt. And clients will understand when you're trying to make changes or innovate or modify or improve, because of the things that you're really wanting to do with them, with their challenges. So there's a lot of runway there if you're treating customers the right way.
Okay. Do you have some more sales tips for people?
Sure. I love to talk sales. A few things that I would always recommend to a startup is start thinking about the CRM early, and how to manage your conversations and your sales processes and those types of things. I've been in several situations throughout my career where a CRM was kind of an afterthought, and you get into your revenue stage and you're trying to launch and you realize that your CRM is just set up wrong or isn't answering the types of questions or providing the type of data that you need. And it's really hard to adjust that midstream, to change or to scrap and restart. So really put some thought into your CRM, what that looks like, and what you want it to look like 5, 10 years from now, because you will benefit from that if you provide some diligence in that. And with that being said, the CRM kind of naturally transitions into a sales process. So what do your sales processes look like? What do those funnel stages look like when you're starting to develop your sales funnel and really start working in lead generation and such? What does that look like, and how can that benefit your company long term?
Right. And a CRM is a contact relationship management system, which is
Right.
essential to make sure things don't fall through the cracks. You can keep track of who you talk to, when you need to talk to them again, all of your appointments, all of your emails you've had back and forth. Highly recommend get a CRM. And the best CRM is the one you're going to use.
Absolutely. The one that you're going to use, and the one that your team is going to use as you build it out. You really need to stress the importance of that as you scale and build your team and add salespeople and marketing people and all of those fun things from a commercial side that you do. It's really important to remember that.
Great. Well, this has been great. And we will put contact information for Dave Austin from Summit Sales Partners into the comments. I'm so glad you could come with these sales tips, and Dave has lots more for you. So make sure you contact him.
I do. I would be remiss if I didn't say building your leads and lead generation and opportunity creation. That's what we do at Summit Sales. So would love to talk about business at any time. Please feel free to get a hold of me.
Great, thank you. And I'm
Thanks, Mary.
Mary Scott with Business Riff. I want startups to be wildly successful. And one of the best things you can do to accomplish that is book a call with me at businessriff.com. And join us again next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.